The marble corridors of Harvard's prestigious mathematics department lay silent under the weight of night. It was 2:17 a.m. when Director William Callahan, a celebrated mathematician and stern academic, returned to the building to retrieve critical documents for an international conference. As he approached the main lecture hall, a soft glow escaped from beneath the door. His brow furrowed. No one should have been there. He pushed it open slowly and froze. A teenage black girl, no older than 14, stood before the massive chalkboard. Her messy bun bounced slightly as she moved, completely immersed in the dense equations sprawled across the slate. Her fingers danced with chalk, solving a non-linear optimization problem Callahan had posed weeks ago, one that had defeated even his best PhD students. She hadn't noticed him. She whispered softly to herself, adjusting symbols and variables with uncanny precision. Then his voice cut through the silence. "What do you think you're doing?" The chalk slipped from her hand, shattering on the floor. Her wide eyes locked onto his, first in fear, then in resignation. This wasn't the first time she'd been caught somewhere she didn't belong. Sorry, sir," she stammered. "I wasn't trying to." "You're trespassing. This is private property." He stepped closer, scanning the board. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" "My name is Zora. My dad, Thomas, works on the night cleaning crew. Sometimes, when he brings me along, I wait in the break room. But today, I saw this problem." She swallowed hard. Her coat was oversized, her sneakers worn, clear signs of struggle. But her eyes shimmered with something rare. Brilliance. Callahan pointed to the board. "Do you even understand what's written here?" Zora hesitated, then nodded. "It's a nonlinear optimization problem. I'm using a modified Lagrange method, but I realize that a logarithmic transformation simplifies the constraints." The director's expression shifted. He had spent 3 decades surrounded by elite minds, yet this girl, this janitor's daughter, spoke with clarity and insight far beyond her years. "Where did you learn this?" "Books," she said softly. "Sometimes I listen at the door during evening lectures, and I read at the public library." Something clicked in his memory. How his personal shelf had been just slightly off some mornings. Someone had been here before. "I'm sorry," she said again, grabbing her threadbare backpack. "Please don't fire my dad. He doesn't know. He told me to stay in the staff room." Callahan watched her turn to leave. Then, against every instinct of the rigid academic he was known to be, he made a decision. Wait. Zora froze. He picked up a fresh piece of chalk and extended it. "Finish it. I want to see how you solve the rest." Her hand trembled as she took it. For a moment, Callahan thought she might faint. But as she turned back to the board, something in her changed. She was calm now, focused. Symbols poured from her hand in a steady stream of elegance and logic. Callahan didn't say a word. He watched, transfixed. What he didn't know, what no one knew, was that math had always been more than numbers for Zora. It was her refuge, her voice, her power. For 3 years, she had accompanied her father on his night shifts, and in the shadows of Harvard's hollowed halls, she had nurtured a gift that now challenged every assumption about who belonged within those walls. When she finished, Callahan gave a single nod. "Come back tomorrow, same time." Then he gathered his papers and left, leaving Zora standing alone, stunned, in front of the blackboard. The next day, Zora didn't sleep. She rode home with her father in silence, her mind replaying the encounter over and over. Over breakfast in their cramped apartment, her father noticed her unease. "Something wrong, Zo?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, Dad, just tired." How could she explain what had happened? That she had broken her promise to stay in the staff room? That the director of Harvard Mathematics had found her and asked her to come back? At school, Zora couldn't focus. Her teacher, Mrs. Collins, explained quadratic equations to a class full of yawns. Zora's mind was miles ahead, lost in variables, transformations, and proofs. Zora? Mrs. Collins pointed at the board. Can you solve this one? Zora blinked, then answered easily. Some students rolled their eyes. Nerd. Weirdo. She was used to it, but today it stung. After class, Mrs. Collins pulled her aside. You seem distracted. Everything okay? Zora hesitated, then spoke. I met someone, a teacher. He saw me solving an equation. He said I could come back. Mrs. Collins' eyes widened with quiet recognition. She had always known Zora was different, gifted. She'd given her extra books, extra problems. I'm glad, she said gently. You've always needed a challenge. Don't doubt yourself. Zora looked down. What if it's nothing? What if he was just curious? What if he changes his mind? Your talent is rare, Zora, Mrs. Collins said. Don't let anyone, especially not yourself, convince you otherwise. That night, back at Harvard, walking beside her father, Zora finally told him the truth. I have to tell you something. Last night, I solved a problem in one of the lecture halls. The director saw me. He asked me to come back. Thomas stopped in his tracks. You did what? Zoe, Harvard is not a place for games. You could have gotten us both in trouble. It wasn't a game, Dad. It was math. She looked him in the eye. And I think I'm finally where I belong. If stories of hidden genius, systemic barriers, and quiet revolutions inspire you, subscribe to the channel. Because what began as a chance encounter in the dead of night is about to change everything. For Zora, and for what we believe genius really looks like. Zora walks beside her father, Thomas, who pushes a cleaning cart under the dim academic lights. Thomas, you shouldn't be using boards that aren't yours. You're risking my job. His voice trembles with both fear and frustration. Thomas, we don't belong in that world, Zora. I'm here to clean, not so my daughter can pretend to belong. Zora hesitates, then speaks with quiet defiance. But he asked me to come back. It's an opportunity. Thomas rubs his face, exhausted and angry. An opportunity? For what? So Principal Callahan can watch a poor girl solve equations like a circus act? That man is known for his coldness, Zora. He doesn't trust people like us. Zora swallows hard. She wants to explain that it wasn't cruelty she saw in Callahan's eyes, but recognition. She never gets the chance. They reach the math department. Thomas firmly. Go to the staff room and stay there. Zora sits alone, surrounded by brooms, mops, and cleaning supplies. The only light flickers overhead. She opens her old notebook, pages filled with theorems, copied formulas, and self-taught solutions. 2 hours later, the door creaks open. Principal William Callahan enters, holding a folder. Callahan, you didn't show. My father won't let me. He nods, unsurprised. Callahan, he's being protective, sensible. A long silence. Then he holds out the folder. Callahan, this is for you. Inside, 5 advanced math problems, Olympiad level, the kind that challenge top doctoral students. Zora, why? Callahan, curiosity. I want to see what you do with them. Montage, days passing. Zora, always in the staff room, quietly scribbles solutions as her father cleans the corridors upstairs. William stops by daily. Brief, wordless exchanges. He leaves more problems. She keeps solving them. Intern staff room, night, 3rd week. This time, Callahan brings someone with him. Professor Marcus Winters, known for his intellect and his prejudice. Winters. This is her. The little human calculator? Zora stiffens. Winters grabs her notebook without asking and flips through. Winters. Rudimentary. Raw talent, but no refinement. He smirks. Winters. You can't seriously be considering. Callahan. Cutting in. We're not here for that, Marcus. Winters scoffs and exits. Callahan lingers. He looks, for the first time, almost human. Callahan. Don't mind him. Some academics confuse elitism with intelligence. Zora watches him, studying his expression. She realizes something else is happening, something he's not telling her. Narrator, VO. What Zora didn't know was that while she solved impossible problems in silence, William Callahan was fighting an invisible war behind closed doors. A war to reshape Harvard, a fight to launch a program for exceptional students from marginalized communities. And Zora, she was becoming his proof, his secret weapon. Intern staff room, 2 weeks later. Callahan enters again, but this time no folder. He places an official brochure on the table. Callahan. There's a committee conference tomorrow. Access and Diversity is voting on the annual budget. Zora. Why are you telling me? Callahan. Because I've been pushing for a new scholarship program. One built to find students like you. Zora blinks. It all clicks. The problems, Winters, everything. Zora. You're using me. Callahan. I'm documenting your potential. Harvard wastes genius behind invisible barriers. I need something real to show them. For Harvard. You want me to what? Perform? Before Callahan can answer, Thomas appears. Quiet but firm. Thomas. Absolutely not. Zora. Dad, please. No, Zo. They don't care about you. Just what you represent. A feel-good story. A PR win. Callahan remains composed. Your father is right to be suspicious. Harvard has a history of treating people like props for diversity brochures. Then why are we still talking? Because I'm not offering charity, I'm offering systemic change. In Maxwell Auditorium, next day. The room is packed with faculty, deans, and donors. At the podium, Callahan begins. The Horizon program is up for vote. It's designed to find and support exceptionally gifted students from communities we've long ignored. He pauses. At the back of the room, the door opens. Zora steps in, her notebook in hand. She walks to the chalkboard, opens a fresh page, begins to solve a problem no one else could. Gasps echo, eyes widen. Callahan VO. Talent does not only live in prep schools. Brilliance is not exclusive to legacy halls or six-figure tuition. You wanted proof? He gestures. Callahan VO continued. There she is. The room is packed. Faculty members and administrators settle as Principal William Callahan takes the stage. William. The Horizons program is up for a vote today. A proposal to identify and support exceptionally talented youth from underrepresented communities. In the back, Zora and her father Thomas sit quietly. Thomas is tense, protective. Zora listens intently. William continued. The cost, $2.3 million annually. Some argue that's excessive. Professor Winters clears throat, smug. We can't base major funding on anecdotes. Where's the data? Stories about a little janitor don't qualify. The room murmurs. Zora flinches. William remains calm. William. Little janitor, Professor Winters? Do you mean the teenager who solved the Bernoulli-Euler problem you deemed unsolvable at last year's symposium? Winters. Impossible. No child could. William clicks a slide. 5 Olympic-level math problems, 3 solved with original methods. William. This is her work. The room falls silent. Winters. Statistical anomaly. Zora. Softly, then louder. Excuse me. She stands. The room turns. Her voice grows stronger with each word. Zora continued. I'm not an anomaly. I'm a 14-year-old who loves math. And I'm not the only one. I know others, just like me, who never had access. Thomas tries to pull her back. She steps forward anyway. Zora continued. Talent doesn't have a zip code. A professor up front stands, intrigued. Professor, you're the one with the solutions? How did you approach problem 4? Zora walks to the board, begins explaining confidently. Her hand flies across the whiteboard. Equations, diagrams, logic. The room is mesmerized. Applause breaks. First a few, then many. William watches, quietly proud. William. This, indicates Zora, is one mind we nearly lost. How many more have we missed? Cut 2. In Maxwell Auditorium, later. Vote tally, 14 in favor, 3 against. The Horizons program passes. Winters. To William, bitter. You turned this into an emotional circus. William. No, Marcus. This is the beginning. Montage. Zora now walks the Harvard campus in daylight, an official student in the preparatory program. Her ID badge visible. Thomas, now logistics coordinator for the program, supervises campus maintenance. Students of all backgrounds gather in study groups. In William's office. Day. Assistant hands William a folder. Assistant. Preliminary results. The program exceeded expectations. William flips through the report. Smiles. Assistant. Continued. 47 students awarded scholarships. Their test scores rival elite candidates. William. And Winters? Assistant. Resigned. Columbia withdrew their offer after his comments went public. In Cafeteria, Horizons meeting. Day. A vibrant atmosphere. Dozens of students discuss science, engineering, and math. Zora leads a conversation on non-Euclidean geometry. She spots William and walks over. Zora. 5 students from my school got in this year. William. Your outreach is working. Zora. My father doesn't clean at night anymore. William. He's essential here. Knows this campus better than any of us. Faculty collaborate enthusiastically. Zora returns to her school, speaks to young students. Media coverage grows. In University event, night. Zora stands at a podium before an audience of representatives from 12 universities. Zora. I used to think places like Harvard weren't made for people like me, and I was right. But institutions can change. Talent should not be wasted because it was born in the wrong place. Thomas and Mrs. Collins, her former teacher, watch from the front row. Zora. Genius isn't privilege, it's persistence. It's solving problems in a janitor's closet when that's all you've got. Standing ovation. XT, Harvard campus, night. As people exit, Thomas turns to William. Thomas. When you found her that night, were you testing a theory or looking for proof? William. Pauses. I was looking for a reason to believe change was possible, and I found it. Fade out. Narrator, VO. The true victory wasn't only in the equation Zora solved. It was in reshaping a system that for too long failed to see the brilliance hidden in plain sight.